early doors at the media center here in Tianjin. We're here because across from us is where the main plenary hall is located. And that hall is going to play host to all the leaders of the SCO that have been trickling into the city over the last 2 days. As you know, viewers, Prime Minister Modi and President Xi held a very consequential meeting yesterday. In about 3 hours from now, the Prime Minister will be meeting President Putin. Zelensky, the President of Ukraine, has already called the Prime Minister, sounding him out about the need for New Delhi to prevail upon Moscow, to come to the talks table. That deadline for coming together and declaring a ceasefire is expiring in about 48 hours. So all eyes, global eyes, today will be on the Prime Minister and that meeting, very consequential with President Putin. The MEA has been very tight-lipped about what's going to be on the table, but indications from yesterday's meeting between the Prime Minister and President Xi suggests that the Prime Minister is very keen not to view these ties, these bilateral equations, through the prism of third parties. In a sense, viewers, a message to Washington that you can try and pressure us, but we will continue to exercise our strategic and diplomatic autonomy. We will engage on our terms with partners we think are important for the India success story, the India growth story. So fundamentally, India is establishing its own independent foreign policy by conducting these meetings in the full glare of global attention. The international media is here and they're very closely tracking those conversations. And the China Daily, we will have footage of that very soon. The China Daily has put that conversation between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi on the front page and called it a critical dialogue for a very critical partnership. That's roughly what the headline says. And if you read through the body of the article, primacy has been given to the Prime Minister's quote that we are not going to view our relationships through a third-party lens. So very, very consequential statements. And the SCO, though has been peripheral in India's consideration over the last few years, will assume a salience of its own this time. Why? Because, once again, it is a grouping of non-West leaders. Authoritarian some of these countries are, of course. India brings a lot of credibility to this platform, being the only functional, vibrant democracy where the vote actually counts for something. So fundamentally, India is positioning itself as a country that is going to explore options at a time when it needs to diversify its trade as well, of course, as its supply chains. These countries are very critical. In and around India's neighborhood are oil-rich countries, resource-rich countries, countries that have deposits of rare earth minerals that, of course, India needs in greater quantities than ever, and of course also energy security. There's Iran, there's Kazakhstan, there's Uzbekistan, and if you remember, viewers, last night the Prime Minister put out several tweets detailing each one across a span of about half an hour about his meetings with the heads of state of some of these countries, which are going to play a very consequential role in the India growth story. All of these countries, incidentally, are also under the tariff cosh of the United States. So a message is going out to Trump that India is going to exercise all its options as it wishes.
Fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.